that deserve the full attention. At Shasta Hearing Aids here in Redding, we believe hearing aid care should feel personal. Through compassionate care, a comprehensive hearing aid screening, and technology tailored to your lifestyle, we help you reconnect to what matters most. Schedule your free hearing aid evaluation today.
All right. Since I kind of messed everything up on my show here, I'm back. And now we're going to go into your deeper dive forecast. Thanks again to Shasta Hearing Aids for your support. All right, take a look at this. Temperature right now of 33 degrees in Redding, 34 for Red Bluff. You can see it gets a little bit warmer as you start heading southward. Very cold in the mountains. You're in the teens and 20s right now. So we take a look at the radar. All right. So here's what we're hearing. In parts of Redding, as I'm seeing right now, is it accumulating? It's trying. And it looks like it stopped. So it stopped. That's pretty much what was expected, but we are seeing, and of course, some light minor accumulations, as some of you are reporting, in the city of Shasta Lake right now, and then northward into Lakehead. You can see here, this is kind of the main band right here. You see that? Once this pushes to the east, there may be a little bit of leftover energy behind that may, give us a little spit here and there, or that's not a nice way of saying it, but just a few sprinkles here and there, and that would be the extent of it. So this is it, folks, at least for today. We're going to be talking about a better potential for tomorrow, a little bit later. Nice little teaser, right? But there you can see that's moving up. So we do have some energy off to the west, but I think most of the activity for today is going to be mainly in the higher elevations in the form of off and on scattered snow showers throughout the day, scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms for the coast, and we may even see some showers later on this afternoon for parts of the valley as well. Take a look at the road conditions because there still are some chain requirements out there east of I-5, also west of I-5, mainly on Highway 3 between Highway 299 and 36. And Highway 36, there are some chain requirements there as well. Meanwhile, a lot of chain requirements, still a big mess. It's still a big icy mess as you're heading out toward the Sierra into closer to the Tahoe region. So take a look at some of the cameras. This is look at I-5 at Mount Shasta. The road is clear. You just got the snow on the grassy areas, but look at Snowman Summit. Didn't see any chain requirements there, but it is icy. So if you're heading out to the ski park, just note that you're going to want to take it easy there. And the ski park highway, most likely icy as well, right? Highway 199, there's Collier Tunnel. Earlier this morning it was coming down. You can see, looks like Caltrans has done a pretty good job keeping it clear, but it is certainly icy, and there are some chain requirements there as well. All right, let's take a look at some other cameras. I pushed the button, but it didn't go. It's supposed to go when I push the button, but not always, right? There you can see Highway 97. We're looking at some snow there. Looks like it's kind of cleared out here in the Doris area, so we are seeing some of these just patchy areas. Not as bad as it was yesterday at this time, obviously, because it's just not as heavy. This look at Berry Summit. Yeah, in Trinity towards Humboldt County, right? You're seeing snow level. I mean, that's 2,600 feet. So look at Buckhorn Summit. At least the base of Buckhorn Summit looks pretty good. So does Oregon Mountain. There's Highway 299 East, Patchett Mountain. Right? There you can see Four Corners. This is northeast of Bernie, and you can see the Cedar Pass looking pretty snowy and icy there as well. This is Shingletown. Looks like, wait, I have to look closely here. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, looks like we're getting a little bit of snow on the road there. So we're starting to see a little bit of snow in the Shingletown area. Lassen Park entrance, and there's a look at Bogard Ranger Station as well. Icy. This is what we'd expect. This is looking at Chester right now. And there, of course, we saw a little bit earlier at the top of the show that there is a lot of snow up there in the Chester area, Johnson Grade for down your summit. Snow-covered lens right there. Taking a look at Highway 36 and 44, icy. We've got snow and kind of just some icy spots there in Susanville itself. There's Janesville, Doyle, and Highway 70 and US 395. A lot of snow out there, isn't there? Let's take you out now to Highway 70, Spring Garden, 3,800 feet, just under 4,000 feet. A lot of snow up there as well. By the way, if you want to check the latest road conditions, it's very easy for you to do from weathernorcal.com and from the app. From the weathernorcal.com, just click right here. It says road conditions. Check it out. You have all kinds of I've taken all the different highways in the area and the best cameras in those areas, and a quick glance, you can see wherever you're going, if it's snowing or if it's not snowing, at least at the current hour, right? And you can also watch from your smart TV, folks. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. Roku. Do you have a Roku? Yeah, you can watch the 24-hour streaming channel. There's an app. that I have for Roku. We're working on fixing the Fire TV app, and I also think in the works is an Apple TV app. So we're going to be kind of expanding some of the devices you can use. But bottom line, if you don't have any of those devices, your smart TV, I bet, most likely has, if you have a smart TV, most likely has YouTube. You can go to search for Weather NorCal, go to the Weather NorCal YouTube page. Here's the cool thing about the YouTube page. The 24-hour channel is there, but also you can watch on demand the latest video forecast. Pretty cool, right? All right, so there you can see that's the cold front that moved through yesterday. Colder air is in place. That's why we are starting to see that mixed precipitation at the north end of the valley here this morning. So this is the cold and unsettled weather pattern. This is going to continue through tomorrow. Then we see a break Friday and Saturday. But then by Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see the next round come in. We got a cool and unsettled weather pattern pretty much through all of next week. There'll be some breaks in between, but through next Thursday at least, we've got more wet weather off and on. Snow level is a little bit higher than we've seen this week, so I'm not anticipating any snow in the valley next week, but it's been fun so far, and we've got the potential tomorrow. There's, of course, that severe weather outlook, mainly thunderstorms along the coast. We may see some work their way into the valley here by tomorrow. All right, here's the fun. Let's take a look at this. Now remember, when we looked at the HRRR during Krueger's Quickcast, it was showing snow Thursday morning for all of the valley. Let's see what we've got here on our in-house forecast model. So through the day, there's going to be some showers here and there. Now here's the thing, it's showing that maybe some more snowflakes possibly late morning for parts of North Reading and even into the city of Shasta Lake. But bottom line, we're just looking at most of the activity in the higher elevations. This is noon today. You see here, it's just not very widespread. Not a lot of activity today. I think we can see a chance for a stray shower, maybe a thunderstorm, possibly in the valley. Better chances for thunderstorms along the coast later this afternoon and evening. But there it is. All right. A couple of things I'm going to point out as we start moving forward here. Look at the winds. I put the winds on here to really illustrate how important the winds are in forecasting the snow. So strong south winds means rain, as you can clearly see right here, midnight tonight, 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. But look at the heavy snow that we have in the mountains. We're going to see that one last little punch with this series for tonight and tomorrow morning, and that's going to be more chain requirements west of I-5, more chain requirements most likely on I-5 north of Reading, and then eventually chain requirements in the eastern mountains. But this is what a lot of you have your eyes on. Is this going to turn into snow? Let's see what happens. Indeed it does for some, okay? Now this is a trend that I've been seeing here, and the main thing I've been really watching here are the winds. So take a look at the winds very closely. First of all, a couple of things, and this is something I mentioned yesterday. First, I want to mention the intensity of this precipitation, rain and snow. It's heavy. And really, I've seen consistency in this time frame of some pretty heavy precipitation in the valley and even the surrounding foothills. That is a contributing factor to the potential for snow. Because a lot of times, here's the deal. So the reason why we typically don't see snow in the valley is above us, you got the colder air and snowflakes. But many times it's just too warm in the valley, so as those snowflakes go into the warmer air, the snowflakes melt, and we see rain as a result. Right? But sometimes, if the precipitation and the snow is heavy enough, that comes rushing down, and that brings down cold air along with it, and it cools us at the surface as a result, and then we can eventually see snowflakes. So that will be one contributing factor. But the other contributing factor are the winds. So you can still see a bit of a south wind at 7 a.m. Thursday with that heavier rainfall in the south end of the valley, Corning, southward at Chico and Willows. But notice this, winds at number one are lighter, but number two, it's a north wind. Remember last year when we had that snow, I went out in the car and I went to the area where it was a south wind and it was raining. And then I went out to just a little bit more to the north of Anderson and it was snowing in Reading. And we saw accumulating snow on the ground and the snow and everything, right? If this comes into play, if this scenario comes out just right, remember we talk about the ingredients have to be just right, right? That north wind, calmer, cold enough, we've got it. We've got that potential. And it could even mean some accumulating snow. All right, now let's take you through time. As we go through the morning on Thursday, that all pushes eastward, and now we're starting to see things dry out. Still some very good snow off over the eastern mountains, but this right here is the beginning phase of the drier trend that we will see as we approach the weekend. Now, still a chance for a few snow flurries, still a chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm on the coast, but we're really starting to dry things out. Now, even Friday, a stray flurry here or there, and then it's getting a little aggressive. And essentially what's happening is we've got low pressure off to our west, and the flow around that, we've got a couple of weak disturbances that are trying to push through. But overall, I'm expecting much drier conditions for your Friday, for your Saturday, and then by Saturday night into Sunday, all right, here's Saturday, 5 p.m., still fairly dry, but then by Saturday night, it all pushes eastward into Sunday. Notice the snow levels are higher, but still places like Mount Shasta, Bernie may see some snow, but Hayfork, Weaverville, probably not for your Saturday night into Sunday morning. Rainfall through 11 a.m. on Thursday. Yeah, I mean, if we can get some of that heavier rainfall in Chico that we did see and not that snow, then yeah, you could see upwards of an inch and maybe a little bit less than that for the coast. And then we add what we're going to see on Saturday, a half an inch on average for the valley and the coast. But there are going to be some areas that could see a little bit more than that. Still have that winter storm warning until 10 p.m. Thursday, although this is until 10 a.m. Thursday off to the west, but generally for the valley eastward, it is until 10 p.m. on Thursday. And that does include, of course, the valley as well. So snow totals. All right, you ready for this? This is kind of fun. It didn't show anything for today. Let me look outside again. Nope. I have to open these. There's no glare. No, it didn't. Yeah, as expected. At least where I am, right? But there you can see surrounding, right? Just trace amounts. Not a lot here for this morning and really even through the day today. All right, then we go into tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. What's that I see? Yeah, possibly. Listen, 2 to 4 inches of snow under those circumstances, I'd say that's even on the low end. We'll see. But I do think we could see some accumulating snow on the grass and on the roads if the ingredients all stay in place. Maybe even a little bit in Red Bluff, but then remember we saw there was more of a southerly wind, more in the way of rain for Chico, and of course south of Red Bluff as well. We'll watch that. But still some decent snow over the southern Cascades and northern Sierra, and then of course more going into Thursday night. And road conditions. They should improve today, but still just keep in mind that we'll probably be looking at chain requirements, especially east of I-5 through the day today. And then by tonight, tomorrow morning, you see how it starts to fill in again? That again is because we're expected to see that snow on those mountain highways. I expect more chain requirements. And it may be a repeat of what we saw a couple of mornings ago, yesterday morning. Remember the chain requirements we saw? We could see another round of that for tomorrow morning. There you can see all the snow that we're going to see here for the Sierra, and you're talking a couple more feet of snow. It's not over yet. Even though we're getting a bit of a break, you can still see if you're traveling in the Sierra, you're going to see improving conditions today as well. But yeah, then we'll see more snow coming into tonight and tomorrow morning. Still have that wind advisory, not necessarily concerned about the gusty winds, but again, we're going to track those winds one more time with our forecast model. 5 p.m., not an issue. By tonight, there you can see the gusty winds that we have coming in from the south. All south winds all the way to the north end of the valley. There is that potential, right, for more south winds at Chico, but more of a north wind for Redding. Support for snow here, not snow here because of the southerly flow of winds. Then we go into 5 p.m. Thursday. See, the thing is, and this is why it's so tricky, it's a small window where the winds die down because tonight, late tonight, strong winds. Early tomorrow morning, winds die down, snow. Right? Right after that, through mid to late morning hours, the winds pick up again, but from the north, not from the south. So you got winds, they die down, just enough time for us to see some snow, and then the winds pick back up again. And I tell you what, the winds can be quite unpredictable at times, and if they stick around from the south all morning, then you're not going to see any snow in the valley. But if they eventually transition more from the north, that could change things. All right, so there you can see by Friday, 5 p.m., the winds start to die down. And then with approaching system on Saturday, I do expect those winds to pick up, especially off to the west and along the coast. Something worth watching there. Check this out, too. Temperatures are warming up in the long range. We're going to be back to near normal, especially as we go into next week. And you can see that on the 10-day trend. It's still very cold through the rest of this week into the weekend, but then we're ticking back up and maybe some upper 50s, low 60s by the middle and latter part of next week. Hey, the lake levels are still looking very healthy out there with all the rain that we've seen and, of course, snow in the higher elevations, although we're still not feeling the impacts of the snow. We got to melt that snow first, right? But 113% of historical average for Shasta Lake and Oroville, Lake Oroville, about 127%. The waves are kind of going up and down a little bit here, so we are going to see some breaks in there, but we still have that small correct advisory here for the rest of the day today. When you look at your marine forecast with those winds from the south at about 15 to 20 knots. All right, here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. We're going to take a look at that forecast starting off with Trinity County. Cold today, temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 30s. So we're not going to see a ton of activity today or tomorrow, just some off and on snow flurries, dry for Friday, most of Saturday, and then by Sunday, more wet weather. And by the time we get into the weekend, I don't expect any more snow for Weaverville, Hayfork. I think snow levels at that point will be too high. Now, scattered showers, possible thunderstorms, maybe even some accumulating hail again for parts of you along the coast. We're dry for Friday, Saturday, and then more wet weather Saturday night into Sunday. Siskiyou County, you've got a chance for more snow flurries off and on throughout the day today and tomorrow. Heavier snow coming in tonight and tomorrow morning. Modoc County, more scattered snow flurries, dry by Friday and Saturday. Eastern Mountains, quite cold, only getting the 33 degrees for Chester, 36 degrees in Susanville, and 41 degrees in Paradise. And there's your valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Temperatures mid to upper 40s, off and on chances for showers here today and tomorrow. It's going to be rain most likely for Chico. I'm not putting snow for you. And then for Friday, Saturday, you're dry, more wet weather Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Up north, quite chilly, 46 degrees for Redding, even colder in Lakehead at about 41 degrees. And morning snow, sure, it could happen, especially for tomorrow morning. We've already seen some of that here this morning in some areas around Redding, the city of Shasta Lake. We're dry by Friday and Saturday, and then looks like more wet weather going into your Sunday, Monday, and a Tuesday. So there you go, folks. That is it. That's your forecast. And we're going to be really watching that potential for snow tomorrow morning, because that is going to make things very interesting to see what happens here. So let's check in with some of you here this morning since I've went live here. Ooh, I got like pages of people making comments. That's awesome. I love it, folks. I love how all of you are checking in. And let's check in with some of the latest here. So I'm going to go back to page 1 here. By the way, my buddy Craig Padilla is checking in this morning, is watching. Good morning, Craig. How you doing? Thanks for your help yesterday, by the way. And we've got, yes, snow off Buenaventura and Placer. That was 19 minutes ago. And then we've got, let's see here. We got someone saying it's snowing in Mary Lake, snowing in Old Shasta. Thank you, Lance, for your report there. Snowing in French Gulch from Lynn Jones. Oh, Jackie was mentioning this. So a buddy of mine in the national weather group that I'm a part of, he lives in New Jersey. In fact, he was the first of all of us to really do this digital weather network deal. And we all work together. And we've got this whole network. We're working on really branding ourselves as a national network and really kind of taking off and getting even some national ad dollars, hopefully. But he was a guest on Fox Weather yesterday. And before he went on, he got my advice and my input on what's going on with the weather on the West Coast. And then he mentioned me during that forecast he was on during Fox Weather. That was fun. Let's see here. So I always appreciate that kind of stuff. There we got Michelle saying like snow in Shasta Lake by Summit City. And then we got someone, Mary, saying snowing at Fondale. Very interesting. Let's see if that's page 3, 1 hour ago. No, let's go back to page 1. That's it. All right, good. So thank you all for checking in, giving your reports. Love hearing your reports. That certainly does help me. Let's take another look at the radar to see what's going on with that, to see if we have any snow kind of showing up. I'm going to go ahead and assume that no, it's not. Let me go ahead and get in here. You know what? I'm going to do this. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get ready for, in fact, we'll take a look at that. We'll do that. First of all, yeah, we'll take a look at the cameras here, there, and then we're going to do the analysis. There we go. So this is the latest coming in here, and if you look closely, it looks like now the city of Shasta Lake is kind of transitioning over to more in the way of rain. It's having a hard time this morning. Oh, let's do that. There you go. We can do this. So you can kind of see it's having a hard time. City of Shasta Lake looks like more. So what I'm going to do, we'll take you a little back in time here. So that little round right there at 6:41 this morning, it was like snow in the city of Shasta Lake. And the next round coming in from the south, you can see it's more in the way of rain. It'll be interesting to see if that does transition over to snow in the city of Shasta Lake. But for now, looks pretty slim. We got someone in Oak Run. Donna saying, snowing in Oak Run. Cool. Looks like the cat is like, cool, man. It's snowing. About 2 feet in all. Interesting. I guess depends on where you are. I don't know exactly where you are, but there you go. 2 feet of snow somewhere. Awesome. I'd be willing to guess somewhere east side, maybe north too. Maybe even west. In Trinity County. I don't know. We'll see. Very cool. Well, what do you say? So again, the main thing is this. Be ready for the potential for some snow tomorrow morning. That is going to be the best chance. And I was alluding to the fact that we might see a little bit of a snow mix. It was going to be cold enough, and then suddenly, boom, a little bit of that south wind kicked in. And before you know it, it turned on over to rain. And just didn't get to see much in the way of snow. There was a little bit of a mix. We got to see for a brief period of time, but that's really about it. All right, well, that's going to do it for us this morning. I hope you all got all that you needed out of this, because that's, of course, the overall goal. We are going to leave you with some cameras here. Let's do this. Let's do this camera right here. And then we will call it a day. Now, I'm going to keep checking in at noon for the latest forecast. And by 6 o'clock this evening, we're going to take a look at the latest forecast model data and look at those chances for snow in the valley, even accumulating snow in the valley tomorrow morning. So be sure to keep checking in. You got the 24-hour streaming channel. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook. You can go to the website. You can go on your app, watch the latest video forecast. It'll have the latest information there. Where else am I? I'm all over the place, folks. This digital world, I'm spread out all over the place. The only place you're not going to find me is on a TV channel, on the airwaves, right? Because I'm a digital weather channel. Remember that. So people say, what channel are you on? No, I'm not on a channel, but I am on YouTube. If you search for Weather NorCal. Portola. Thank you, Phil. Portola, blue skies, and a ton of snow. Excellent. Thank you, Phil, for your report there. So we're going to leave you with some cameras here, road conditions, and then some other beautiful shots here if we get to it before the music ends. Until then, have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.